Hello everyone, this is going to be my Ayyubids build order. I've previously played a lot of Abbasid, and so Ayyubids is the variant civ of the Abbasid, and so I naturally gravitated towards them. Unlike the Abbasid, they are more focused on camels and mobility versus the infantry focus of Abbasid. I find this is very strong, especially in the meta right now, where knights and cav is so much more important and very strong. The reason that camels are so good is because they give a 20% damage debuff to all cav, and so I feel like Ayyubids is really good going into the meta and into ranked. Currently, I just hit Conk 3, so I'm in top 100 right now, and I'm gonna keep pushing with Ayyubids and releasing more videos. But I just wanted to give you my build order. I know there's like a lot of 2TC build orders out there and things like that. I feel like 2TC right now is very weak. So we're going to do a 1TC into aggression. I find that Ayyubids are pretty good at controlling the early game with their mobility that they get from their Desert Raiders, which is one of their unique units. And otherwise, the start is pretty much the same as the Abbasid build order, and we're going to go through that right now. So the focus is to get aged up and get an archery range out and get one of your Desert Raiders, which we'll go over in a second. But again, the start is going to be the same, where we go to 7 on food, and we, of course, scout. I'm going to also build a house to connect. The Golden Age works the same in the sense that you have to build, buildings in the influence area to get your Golden Age, but the bonuses are very different, and I would argue to a certain extent better, especially if the game goes longer. And we're going to go over some of those unique bonuses when we get the House of Wisdom up. So again, we're going 7 on food, and then we're going to go 3 on gold. Unlike my Abbasid build order, this is going to be a little bit more back and forth with managing your villagers. It doesn't matter too much if you don't get the villagers right away, but this is just what I have found to be the best order of things. So again, we're going to build mining camp here on our gold and go up to 703, and then we're going to go back to food. So we're going to build a House of Wisdom here. And the House of Wisdom, of course, is also new. You have 8 different techs that you can go, as opposed to the 4 different wings that you can with Abbasid. And so we're going to go through some of those as well, and what I think is viable, at least in the meta right now. Alright, so if we have a look here at the Golden Age, on 10 structures, you get the gather rate of 10 resources. Very similar to Abbasid, but then 20 structures, 50%. Research speeds, 30% production speed, and then the tier 4 and tier 5 are really strong. But you need to get a lot of structures, right? 75 structures for the last one. So we're going to go 804, so the next villager that popped out, you'll see that I put it on sheep. There's no point in putting him on berries because we are going to age up soon and take almost everyone off food except for the 4 that we need to sustain villager production. And we're going to go up to 4 on gold. The reason that we want a little bit more gold is that when we age up, we are going to age up with Tradewing Bazaar. Now, with Tradewing Bazaar, just before I get into that, we're going to rally to wood from here on out until we get age up. With Tradewing Bazaar, people refer to it, colloquially speaking, as the casino, where you get a bunch of tickets, which we'll see. The other viable option that I think is the economic wing for growth, which grants you 3 extra villagers and an extra 50 on berries. And I'm going to do a build order for that as well, because it is slightly different. But those 2 I think are the most viable. You could use the Culture Wing Advancement if you're playing a hybrid map and you want to get fast feudal. But other than that, there's those 2 are the most viable. You could also do Industry for quicker TC, but again, I don't think that's viable in the meta right now. So again, I've pulled everyone off the food, so we're now 4-7-4 split. Everything's going to wood, and wood is going to be very important, just like the opposite build. The next 50 wood is going to be going towards our wheelbarrow. Once they drop it off, the next 50 to a house, and the next 50 to a lumber camp. So there's wheelbarrow, you know, there's the house, and then we're going to drop a lumber camp here in a sec. Okay, and we just rally up to wood until we get, you know, about to 7, and then we want to throw a 5th onto gold. So here I've gone 5 up to gold, then back to wood. Okay, so we need the 5 on gold because we're going to need to pay for the ticket and future tickets, as well as we want to get upgrades and other things. Okay, and we want to be heavy on wood because we want to be able to, once we age up, to drop a archery range. You could drop a stables as well. I just like dropping an archery range because then I can build archers if they build spears. Whereas if I build a stables, I don't have to build them. So here I've aged up, and I'm going to use the ticket where it's going to give me 2 villagers. I'm going to go to food. Once I get 10 on wood, I don't really need any more. And then from here, we want to drop that archery range as soon as we get that 150 wood. And because it's a little bit late for me, I'm going to power build it with 2 villagers. And then once it's built, we want to pop out a desert raider. Now, with the next 100 wood that you get, you might want to think about towering your gold, because your gold is very important for Ayyubids, for tickets, upgrades, aging up in general. So in this case, my gold's at the back, so it's pretty safe. I could probably look to wall around it, but just for this example, for this build, I am going to build that tower there. And then build a desert raider. So these desert raiders, they're the unique units. It's a cavalry unit, and it has the option of being a melee unit or a ranged unit, both with the mobility of the cav. And so we want to take advantage of that and harass the opponent with the archer version of this unit. And from here, we just rally onto food, and you can throw on your next production building depending on what you scout your opponent doing. Obviously, if they're building cav themselves, you can build barracks. If you see that they are you know, building lots of infantry, you can go another range. You can go stables. It's very flexible. But yeah, from here you just keep pumping out units. We would probably throw in a house, and then we always want to check our tickets. So again, here another 2 villagers, so I get another ticket. And here with the desert raider, you see we're going to switch to melee form, and we're going to go around this way and harass our opponent's gold. And we're going to refresh our lumber camp, build another house preemptively. Build another desert raider, build another spear, maybe to defend our base. And this is the essence of the build order. Once from here, you just continue to mass units until you can, with maybe 1 more production building, until you naturally feel like you can go up to castle. Now, when you're thinking about going to castle, I've been using military wing reinforcement. I've found that that's pretty good because it gives you 3 desert raiders, and 1 desert raider is 180 resources. So every 2 minutes, it's going to give you 540 resources worth of units. I find that this is pretty good. The other one that you could go is economic wing growth. It gives you 8 villagers, and your berries give you 100 extra food. And you could also go advancement. If you find that you're behind your opponent's castle before you, and you feel like you need to get castle quickly, let's say you're playing against Order of the Dragon or HRE, and they go burger, and they try to rush you, you can get the advancement to try and get crossbows out, you know, quickly. And those are the 3. If you're really ahead and like your opponent's gone super economic and they've gone, you know, 2 TC, or you know, they're Japanese and they've upgraded their TC a lot, you could go logistics as well. Going to castle is very flexible, but logistics, basically what you would do is once you hit castle, you drop that monastery, 3 monks come out right away, and then you grab up all the relics. And it's actually very easy to try and get all 5 relics, because you're going to have units out in the field. You can secure their relic first with one of the dervishes, which is the unique monk for Ayyubids, and then you can grab the other relics that are more in the middle of the map with your other 2, and then grab 2 more, and then grab Sacred Sites, and then your gold income is just out of this world. You would also throw down a Blacksmith and just keep pumping units and try to kill your opponent. If your opponent's turtled in, you could also have the option to go for a second TC in Castle, but usually I do that later on. But yeah, that's the build order, and we're going to show a game of me doing this build order in ranked versus another Conqueror 3 player. And we'll see you in the next one.